Jussie Smollett's conviction was overturned by the Illinois Supreme Court, his 2021 conviction, for staging a hate crime and lying to police. So this sparks debates on legal rights, hate crime, integrity, and media influence, which is something we should talk about. But a little bit of background information about this case. Jussie Smollett was a really popular actor at the time. Like he was on the show Empire, which I love that show. I love that show so much. It's probably one of my top 5 shows. Taraji P Henson, love her. Um, Everybody else, they were great. But she's probably the most like famous person off of that show. But so Smollett claimed he was attacked in a racially and homophobically motivated hate crime involving 2 masked men shouting slurs and referencing quote MAGA country. Authorities found evidence suggesting Smollett staged the attack with the help of his 2 brothers, who testified that they were paid to assist. So the timeline was February 2019. He was charged with filing a false police report. March of that same year, the charges were dropped after Smollett agreed to forfeit his bond and perform community service. February 2020, re-indicted on 6 counts after a special prosecutor reviewed the case. And then December 2021, convicted on 5 counts and sentenced to 150 days in jail, probation, and restitution. And yeah, so the Supreme Court's decision, the key argument was that Smollett's due process rights were violated by being prosecuted twice for the same offense, and then the court ruled that the re-prosecution after the initial charges were dropped constituted double jeopardy. His legal team celebrated the decision as justice served, maintains that his innocence and criticizes prosecutorial overreach, but the special prosecutor voiced disappointment in the ruling, arguing it was based on procedural grounds rather than the strength of the evidence. But this just raises a question about integrity of hate crime reports, responsibility of public figures, roles of the media in shaping things, because this was a high-profile case. I mean, everybody was talking about this. He got booted off of Empire, and then they had to give it a terrible ending. I'm still disappointed in that, but anyways, I digress. What's your take on this?
Yeah, it's so I was reading about this case. The first thing is like I heard about this case on the radio before anybody knew it was like a staged thing. And I remember the one little line that made me go, huh? But I didn't really think much about it after that was, somebody was in Chicago saying, this is MAGA country. And I was just like, MAGA country? Chicago? And then that's all I had thought of it. But, as it came to light, it was like, wow, this guy was a super successful person. I mean, I think that he had an album out at the same time. Thing is, though, is like at the same time, This Is America by Childish Gambino came out, right? And I'm wondering, I mean, that was massive success for Childish Gambino. And I'm wondering if like Jussie Smollett was like, man, I need more attention. I need more notoriety. Cause like their albums were out at the same time. And I'm just wondering if maybe he was just like driven to this, like, I need more, So I kind of felt bad because it just seemed like, yeah, I mean, he just like he's got this fully successful career, but he's not taking off like some people, like in comparison at the time. And I just felt like maybe he was trying to get some of that extra clout or something like that. But it's just like, wow, man. I mean, I just ended up feeling bad for the guy in the end, And then yeah, like I saw the headlines today, and the headlines weren't so good that they didn't really. Some of them didn't really even go into the fact that he was basically convicted on double jeopardy, like he got prosecuted once, plead out, and then got prosecuted again via a special prosecutor. That's kind of funny though. It's like they did the special prosecutor because people were so mad at them for giving him such an easy deal. So It's just like, well, now we have a trial by public at this point. But I mean, yeah, I think it's probably the right thing to do by the Supreme Court. If you agree, if you make a plea deal, you shouldn't be prosecuted for the same thing again.
Did you ever watch Empire?
No, I didn't. It's a story about record companies. Yes.
So pretty much when the image comes back, it's about this family who own and they own Empire Entertainment, which is like this global, like powerful, like media company or record company that diversified into a whole bunch of other industries, right? Like fashion, things like that. Look at them. They look like a
Terrence
family.
Howard.
They acted like a family. Everybody casted for the role in the Lions family was so good, but he pretty much struggles with his sexuality throughout the beginning of it, and then like,
Hmm.
does he want to? It literally follows him becoming a superstar and like a fall from grace and having to go to rehab. Pretty much like outlines like what happens in the music industry,
Hmm.
right? Like down to like
Yeah.
some crazy stuff like gang banging, violence, and stuff. But
Hmm.
they had a lot of people on this show. Omarion was on this show as a special guest. Uh, Alicia Keys was on for an episode. Mariah
Hmm.
Carey was on for an episode. Like they had a lot of like big name people come on and make songs with. That was the other thing too, like the music. All the music was
Yeah.
original. They sung, they performed throughout it. It was great. I loved it.
Hmm.
Cookie was my favorite
And this
character,
was
George Hanson, but yeah.
this was on a broadcast. It was on Fox. It was on like a main channel, was it?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah. So I
I,
mean, like Fox is never really known to be able to put out like very popular shows like that. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I heard about it. It was such a popular thing that people. I mean, people in my social media would talk about Empire a lot. So, but I never really got down to it. I don't
I'd
know.
sing along.
I also
You're
didn't watch
so
every.
beautiful. Did it? Did it?
Oh
I still
man,
have
you gotta
those
be
songs on
whispering.
my I still have those
There's
songs on
a
my
there's this other show that like I haven't watched that kind of feels like the same. It's called Secession on HBO, and all my friends are like, "You have to watch it. You have to watch it. So good and stuff." And I'm just like, I think it's kind of the
oh
same thing
yeah.
here, just not into it. I don't know, but
Well, Secession is more about like straight business like billionaires. This
okay,
focused more around music. Like all this whole
oh,
show
okay,
centered around music. Secession is not around music. It's
like the
about like straight
business and
business
business aspect
and
of it,
like
and this is more
yeah,
okay.
siblings fighting for like different
Oh,
like stuff. Yeah.
okay.
That's a great show too.
I have so many shows that I can't take on any more commitments right now. Not at this time. But no, I think the thing that I always walked away from was like, man, that guy was just needing more, 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 more. And isn't that the human condition, right?
Yeah.
But I just that yeah, no, it really did my head in thinking like this guy was world famous. He had a great career and stuff, but I think that he was just looking at other people and going, I'm not there yet. You know, I need to have more. So I mean, in the end, it was just really sad. I mean, I remember listening to the judge's sentence, and the judge was just like, "There's nothing I can do that you haven't already done to yourself, but you're going to be in jail for 100 days." So it's like, oh, okay. I thought he was about to get let off, but
But I think that like I don't know. I feel like celebrity and rich people jail is different.
yeah. Well, you had to go to Cook County Jail for 100 days.
I
So
don't know. I don't know anything about that. Like
that's the Chicago jail, Cook County. But man, I'm wondering if he's not going to try to like rehab his brand and try to go away saying this was like, oh, I was declared innocent. It's like, you were thrown out on a technicality, but I mean, I see
mhm.
so many people coming back from being canceled that it's just like cancel culture is not real. Like even Kevin Spacey's making a comeback. It's like, what?
Is he
What?
really?
Yeah, yeah, and he did something kind of clever. Like he came back in a movie that was about. It had something to do with his character was somebody who got prosecuted for sexual harassment or something like that. So it's like, well, if you go Google it, you're gonna see his movie and not necessarily his awful behavior. So it's just like you see so many people coming back from supposedly being canceled. It's like, maybe he'll come back. I don't know. I really sincerely hope he like finds the help he needs and stuff because that just looked like it was torture, to accomplish so much, but it still not be enough, you
And
know?
that show could have went on. That's the thing
Yeah,
about it. Like that show could have gone on. Like there were so many different storylines and different characters that were weaved in and out, but
yeah.
Empire could have went on.
That's how did it end? You said you were upset with the ending.
Yeah, it was just like the way they had to it ended abruptly, honestly.
Um, yeah,
It was one of those things where it just kind of like ended abruptly.
but
Awful.
not Soprano abruptly good.
No, it was kind of just like, wait, I feel like there needs to be another episode. It just ended
Hmm.
like it was just a regular episode and it was done.
It felt like
But
a cliffhanger.
yeah,
Yeah,
in some
I've had a
ways,
few shows
but
like
and
that.
they also like changed it too. Like I think they had to like write him out of the script.
Mm,
So it was just a mess. It was just a mess,
yeah.
and I'm still upset about how that ended. Damn. Wow.
Yeah. No, well, I remember, conservative influencers online, content creators and stuff were already pretty prominent. Um, even in like what was this 2019, early 2019, late 2018. And like that's the first thing they said was like this guy doesn't look like he got roughed up and he's just trying to blame Trump. And then yeah, I mean this I saw a lot of this after the fact, but it was just like people broke it down and they're like, man, you get jumped, you look a certain way, and he did not look like he got messed up. And like, didn't he like supposedly after he got hit, he just went to like a subway or something like that? He walked into like a subway. Was that
I don't remember the specific details. I kind of just got
um,
like the ones of
people? They were like that does not look like somebody who got jumped. It looked a
right
little
in
suspicious.
Chicago. Like, ooh,
Yeah, and I never thought anything of it until way after the fact. But the only thing that made me go, huh, was like somebody screaming MAGA country in Chicago. And Dave Chappelle does a really funny joke about this where he's like kind of doing a little sketch comedy on it. And he says, Jussie Smollett says, this guy screamed MAGA country. And the cop was like, MAGA country? He said, hold on. He goes over to his partner. He says, Frank, find out where Kanye West was last night. Yeah, because he was a huge MAGA guy. All right, he did it
yeah.
better. All right. I'm going to try to steal jokes.
All